God's design really comes from a place of me wanting to illustrate my perception and my growing perception of what sex and intimacy is. That's really what this piece is about in the way that God designed it. Yeah, I've always tried to like shape, I mean, I think most of us have tried to shape what my perception of sex is. Sex is everywhere, right? But more recently, around the time that I started playing around with this illustration was more when I was like digging deeper into what does sex mean to me, and my experiences with just my perception, what I've seen.
Are the people in this picture presumably are naked? Or is it just they have clothes and are just from the top up?
Okay, it's assumed that they're naked.
Have you drawn naked people before?
Yes.
So what makes this... Are you saying that your perspective on the topic of sex has evolved as you grew older?
Of course. I think our understanding of most things evolve, and particularly sex, our perception of sex evolves as we mature. I'm also pretty aware of my age. I'm 23 years old. I'm still pretty young, but as far as I can remember, I've had some type of an understanding of what sex was. Maybe not the most mature understanding, but I think for myself and even my friends, the people around me, sex is everywhere, you know? So of course I had a perception of what it was. I have drawn people in the nude before. And in this piece, it's interesting because I haven't drawn naked people in a while. And I wanted to be risque, so to speak, with this piece, but I also wanted to, again, it's a personal thing for me with learning about intimacy and how sacred sex is and how it's a good thing and it's fun and exciting, but it's also sacred and holy and God-given, you know? So it's like, how do you illustrate that without also being so, how do you say, like R-rated, you know, in a way. So that's why I incorporated, I'm very into like the whole tropical look. So I incorporated the tropical, the plants and all that stuff. That's why I did like a multicolored type thing, because I didn't want it to just be one specific type of person. Of course, they're going to look a certain way to some degree. You know, I can't modify a look for everyone, but I wanted it to be relatable to as many people as possible, because it goes back to Adam and Eve in the garden. Like, we don't know exactly what they looked like, but we all relate to them, you know. Well, as a Christian, I believe we can all relate to them because it's the origin story of how God created us. It doesn't matter what exactly they look like. It matters the design that God intended for us, which is, you know, the beauty and the intimacy and the sacredness, the holiness of a man and a woman being together, being committed. It's the design that matters. And that design is going to look different. And that's another thing. It's like we all have different experiences, different backgrounds, different stories. We look different. We perceive things a little bit differently. So it's not going to look identical. But there's like this general design, this general blueprint that God gives us. And then you apply it to your life, like to how you were raised, your culture, how you look, all that stuff. But there's still a general design, and that's what I was playing around with. That's what I was learning in the past, few years, like God reconstructing my view of sex, because I've had a lot of, we all had a lot of influence of what sex is, a lot of different places.